Hello and welcome to pdfsupply.com. Today we're going to be testing a 9070 processor. I have part number here, IC697CPX935. You don't have to worry about the revision letters. It's going to be the same test for all of them. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the slot. The rack I'm using is an IC697CHS750 5-slot rack. And the rack is empty since we'll be just testing the processor, with a IC697 PWR 711 power supply. Now what I'm going to do is remove this door so that you guys can better see what's on the inside. I'm going to point out all the information that's on this door is also on our website if you don't have it, but I'll also be pointing out what all of it means. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect up to it using this cable. This is an AS693232SNP. Has LEDs to show communication. I'm going to plug that into port 3, which is also the port 3 LED, bottom right hand corner, and try and connect up. And I'm looking for communication, and it immediately hooked up. This top LED, top left, is the OK LED. If you're unable to connect, or if you don't have an OK LED on, there's obviously the problem with your processor, and you won't be able to follow this test from here forward. And this is something that we commonly repair here. We also have exchange programs for new modules or remanufactured. And you guys can get us at pdfsupply.com for more information on that. So now that I'm connected up, first thing that I want to do, and in the background I'm using Proficy Machine Edition, I'm going to get into programmer mode, and I want to clear memory faults, which is in this particular case I/O fault table and controller fault table. I don't want to clear the actual all memory or hardware configuration or logic, because I don't want to ruin anything that could be on the processor. I'm going to go OK that. Once that's cleared, I'm going to click the download and run icon, which is the download and information and run on the right. And then it's going to build the configuration we have, which is an empty slot rack power supply CPX. And when it asks you to download, you're just downloading hardware configuration and logic. That's all you want to download, not to permanent flash memory, no initial force values. So just hardware and logic. I'm going to OK that. Let this build. Once it's done building, it's going to get to our other point here, which is to get the processor into run mode. The processor has to be able to get into run mode in order to be a good processor, to be able to finish this test. And once we do get it into run mode, we're going to check the other ports and switches. So I've gotten it into run mode. You can see here these three LEDs. The top one, as I said before, is OK. The second one, down middle one, is the run LED. And the third one is input output enabled, I/O enabled. And once those are on, these are all functioning. There's a switch here, a toggle switch, that you can toggle through these to: 1, shut off the I/O enabled, so it's disabled; 2, to close off run mode, now that that's off, so that we know that this switch works. And the second switch, of course, is the memory protect switch, which is located on the top, and the LED that corresponds with it is here. So when I turn this on, it's testing to make sure that my memory protection is enabled, or able to be enabled, and it is, so that's working fine. And the last thing I want to check is the ports 1 through 3. So port 3 is working right now, we can see that. I'm going to unplug it, plug into port number 2, and now that that's blinking, I know that this is working. Then the last port we want to plug into, port number 1, is a special cable. I have a part number here, IC697CPX935. On one end it has this, what looks like a phone jack that plugs into the processor. On the other side is a serial port connection, and I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the computer What I'm looking for here is that this top LED is blinking, and immediately it starts communicating, so we know this is good too. So it's still in run mode. If this is a processor that you feel that there's a problem with, what you want to do is let it run overnight, over a weekend, a couple days, and you want to make sure that it stays in run mode, or that the goal is to make sure that it stays into run mode. If for any reason it fails and it falls out of run mode, again in Proficy Machine Edition, in your top menu bar, there's in the middle is one category called Target. You want to click that, and towards the bottom there's Diagnostic Screen. And when you open up your diagnostic table, your fault table, it'll show you exactly why it fell out of run mode. And maybe that'll help you further. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you.